Hey everybody, welcome to our Imagine Meetup for February 2021. If you have not met me yet, my name is Josh Ramirez, and I am a fourth-year radio, television, film major here at UT Austin. A little about me, I am the Imagine Lab manager, and I have spent the past few years building out not only our physical lab, but also the innovation initiative as a whole. So whether it is our monthly events or our research projects, everyone is welcome to connect with me and join the many opportunities here at the lab. I also want to thank you for joining us online for this meetup. I know it can get pretty difficult going to Zoom University, but I hope GatherTown is something a little bit different here. I know we're all living in some pretty unprecedented times right now, but it's a joy to see y'all tuning in so we can continue to be curious together and adventure in a discussion around a couple topics that are emerging or immersive in many ways. So whether it was a friend that shared this with you, or you saw our event on social media, or you've participated in one of our past meetups, we are just glad to see you here, so let's just jump right in. If you're not familiar, we usually host these meetups in our physical lab back at the Moody College of Communication at UT. Good news is we are now available to schedule appointments ahead of time with either Logan or myself. You can use those 2 QR codes right there, scan them, it will take you to the right sites. The bottom right one is for our Calendly. This is if you need to book a specific time. Super helpful that way. And then up top, the one that's black and white, that's if you're curious about what you can do at the lab. We have a whole demo library that's been curated. So feel free to get those phones out. You can scan them. By the way, usually at our meetups, we have some time to demo a couple things in the lab, whether that be augmented reality, virtual reality, or something else that we have physically. But for today, we're excited to try something a bit different as we make the most of our virtual presence. And that includes a couple activities we'll experiment with using our smartphones. So whether you have an Android or an iPhone, as long as you use the camera app and hold it to the QR codes in this presentation, you'll be able to join along as we play with a few demos we have found for this topic. So keep your device ready. And if you've never used a QR code scanner, it's really just the camera on your phone. It should be able to recognize the code. The link pops up right at the top. Tap on that link and you'll be all right. So I know we do want to jump right into the meetup, but I would like to say thank you again so much for coming. Each of you hopping in this event helps us to continue building our entrepreneurial and research communities. So feel free to pop in some questions during the event in the chat on the left. Throw up some emotes in the bottom right of your middle menu bar at the bottom, the little smiley face looking guy. Or simply just dance around to let me know you're there as we present this week's topic, Imagine Fashion Meets Immersive. If you're wondering like me how we ended up here, well, at the end of our last meetup last semester, we popped out the question to all who attended, and y'all selected this theme. So full disclosure, I am not the most stylish person ever, or even an expert on the color of the year, but I'm always interested in new technology. So with people shopping online now more than ever, consumers are ready to have a more personalized and attention-grabbing experience. And with immersive technologies, the fashion industry has taken the next step in communication and engagement with their audiences. So I'll let Kyle take it away here so we can answer an existential question.
Yes. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me yet, I am a fourth-year advertising major, getting a concentration in immersive media. I'm also the events coordinator here for Texas Immersive alongside Olivia and my amazing partner, also Josh. So yeah, I'll take it away. So here we are at this big question. What is fashion? First, does anyone have any opinions on what fashion is? No? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that there's no straightforward answer here. Oftentimes, this is a form of expression, identity, and culture. There is a straightforward go at this. You can see from the 1920s all the way to where we are now. It's very different, but oftentimes fashion and how we have evolved over the years and decades translates in to the to how we have overcome challenges and the technological advances we have made as a human.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Pretty much like from silk to Kevlar, spacesuits to swimsuits. It's usually a good indicator of social progress. I'd agree with you there, Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. So now, but then we come to this question: what is immersive? Probably just as ever-changing as anything, whether it's the tech you wear, the places you visit, or the world presented in front of you. Immersive can be a whole field of how we connect with experiences, bridging reality and the digital. Innovations in theater and computer science have met in thousands of unique ways recently. Just look at the smartphones, digital assistants, and futuristic headgear. The opportunity to extend reality is now possible thanks to technology. Whether it's the department store, the fashion show, or simply the bedroom, the avenues being explored right now are all too familiar. And so I just want to make one thing clear though. The one important thing about immersive is the story, and it will always be the story. We look at these technologies as storytelling devices. It's opportunity to enhance a story. It is not required.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Okay, cool. All right. So there are endless amounts of opportunities where fashion can go with technology that exists today. And so we have broken this down into two narrow categories. I do have a challenge for you though. As we go through this presentation, don't only look at the examples that we are giving you today, but think about how we can innovate into something that doesn't exist today. Here at the Imagine Lab, we like to be curious, and that is at the heart of what this team is. And so you're always welcome to talk to us on any new ideas, or if you want help kind of narrowing in on something that maybe doesn't exist and you're a little nervous about doing, you're always welcome to talk to us about that.
100% agree. Yep. Bear with me. I know we're on a delay. We're getting the hang of GatherTown and Twitch streaming, but we'll get a hang of it. Take it away, Kyle.
Okay, cool. So next I want to talk about London Fashion Week 2020. Here, Josh, if right after this you're going to play the story or the video, yeah, I'm going to say something real quick. So, all right. So to kick this presentation off, let's start with this fashion show. They have shown us through real-time augmented reality computing, the latest fashion technology, including spatial audio, haptic feedback, and a 46-meter projection runway. And so they have, through this video, they're doing 3D capture of the model. It's super cool. Josh, if you want to go ahead and play it.
Yeah. So what they were doing here was really first of its kind. They were really promoting 5G, so take it as you wish, but everybody had their phones out. There wasn't an actual model walking down the runway. It was literally just kind of like a ghost. But they captured it in 3D. It must have been really cool, to be honest. They had real-time augmented reality computing, spatial audio. They even had haptic feedback under the audience seats, including a 46-meter projection. So it was really detailed, honestly. But that was just one part of the physical. You still had to go to the fashion show to see what it was like. And for the most part, however, the next top model walks the catwalk in person. But as you know, such in-person events have been on hold. With this limitation came innovation, and some took a new creative approach to modeling. Take a look at Congolese designer and founder Hanifa Wemba, who debuted her latest collection via 3D renderings on Instagram Live as the pandemic shut down the industry back in May last year. So watching the virtually ambiguous model kind of walk down this blank runway, it looks so lifelike, and it was not only accessible and fun, but also speaks to a larger degree about how the industry might change. Her show garnished over 15 million views, so I recommend you go check it out. And we should definitely keep an eye on where this virtual being tech may lead to next.
So what about try it on before you buy? L'Oreal has you covered. With a partnership with ModiFace, you can now use your smartphone to analyze your skin condition and produce a customized beauty routine based on scientific research combined with the AI algorithm. Also, with virtual try-on, you can try on hundreds of looks in a matter of minutes.
We're thinking we want to try this out, actually. So if you have your phones, I built this little small tutorial. You're welcome to also do this later. It will be on the demo floor. But just as an activity, we thought we could take a breather and have a makeover with L'Oreal. So all you got to do is scan the blue code in the presentation with your smartphone and play around with the virtual try-on options on the site. So whether it's hair color, lipstick, or a good contour shader, have some fun. If you'd like to submit your new look to our gallery, we're going to have a gallery that's private to this group. It's going to kind of be like a memorial to this event. You can scan the orange code on the right. And if you get stuck, let us know. And we will put down a little tutorial right there at the bottom. All links will be in the chat as well. So go ahead, have some fun with that. If you have never seen this before, I was having a ton of fun and I sacrificed my dignity to show y'all. You literally just do this from your smartphone and it should work just fine. By the way, if you're having audio issues, I would definitely be curious here what might be going on. So if you're joining us from a computer, we'd prefer it be Google Chrome or Firefox. I know Safari is in beta, so just something to keep in mind. Also, make sure we have a good, stable internet connection, and then finally, you've allowed a microphone and video access. So if all that is good, we'll still be recording this, and we'll be posting it later. So you're welcome to scrub through, check that out. And this world is persistent. So all the demos you have on the demo floor, those will always stay there. So you can always come back, check it out, take a look at all the videos, all the good stuff. Anything to say there, Kyle?
Actually, it works really well. It's fun. It's interesting how you can try on makeup from your phone and then order it. I think it was a really smart move by L'Oreal. And I think this is just one example of how shopping and immersive connect. I know in one of our classes last semester through Yeti, they made a whole virtual shopping area where consumers can go through virtual reality and buy things, but also see what they're buying. So, yeah. That is all I have to say about that.
Has anybody tried it yet? I'm looking through the frames. It's actually really impressive how it works without an app, in my opinion. This just works straight off their website. You don't see that all that often. But we will be working with a program similar to this where you don't need to download an app. We've worked on projects using this thing called Eighth Wall. It's a great universal platform that allows you to build these augmented reality experiences, very similar to this L'Oreal project. So just keep an eye, and if you've never done this before and this is our first intro to augmented reality, highly recommend checking out a couple of our projects on our Texas Immersive site. And yeah, we'll just hit continue here. Again, you can always come back, check this out later. This also works for glasses too. Many of these experiences work off the advanced facial recognition cameras, such as like Face ID, and it's kind of like advanced Snapchat filters. It's really what it is. And for a company like Warby Parker, it definitely makes a whole lot of sense. Where they started online, you get to try the glasses before you buy them. They give you 5. But I guess this definitely mitigates any risk or mitigates any confusion about what glasses you want before you even get them. I love that. And you can also purchase them right on the spot, like it says. So that's an app you can get in the App Store. I'll just run it one more time so you don't see. And frankly, maybe you've seen something more advanced than this. Augmented reality tech, especially with like those Face ID cameras and most advanced computing, they can handle way more than just trying on glasses. How do you feel the glasses, though? That's a good question. Well, I guess that would be the point where they do ship you those glasses. And Warby Parker's business model is you get like 5 glasses to try, and you can send all 5 of them back risk-free. I'm not working for them. I just know that. They also have a store down at the Domain here in Austin, Texas, so you could physically go and try them. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, there are definitely some limitations there. Then, actually, that same question might apply here. If you're more the shoe type, Nike has a pretty neat installation in stores, in certain stores, using projection mapping to allow you to vividly represent what your next custom sneaker might look like. This projection mapping tool is really blowing up in our lab right now. We're actually exploring similar use cases too. And we have our own projection mapping system, like I said, and we're building out a project right now. And projection mapping is really neat in that it scans a 3D object and can project onto individual elements. I really think this makes the most sense for shoes. Let me know any other ideas y'all would have. But in our lab, we've been able to projection map on paintings, and you can illuminate or change certain aspects of this painting overlaid. Really neat stuff. So I look forward to what projection mapping has. And then finally, taking a step back from the digital, we also want to consider how else the future of the runway might look like, especially as Disney is prepared to fully immerse guests in a new hotel experience at their Disney theme park called Galactic Star Cruiser. I wish I was making this up. Fans of Westworld will appreciate this take on an all-in immersive, given all guests will have the opportunity to role play. They're going to be donned in fashion reminiscent of like a long, long time ago. And this experience is expected to be available later this year, although it may cost upwards of $1,000 a night. And it may also point towards a future of location-based experiences. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to wearing a traditional Jedi robe and walking through a literal starship. I look forward to that. So a lot of the promotional material here, they look like they're in normal dress, but then if you look at the one where they're at the bridge, they're advertising the fact that you can purchase the clothing and then you'd be able to wear that clothing throughout the experience. There's hints that they'll provide it too, so that all guests are immersed. I mean, that would definitely make sense with a $1,000 price tag, right? So if any Star Wars fans are out there, let's book a trip.
Does anyone have any questions so far? I've seen hands go up and down in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
If not,
yeah, there's definitely a lot to cover here. I understand. Yeah, and a lot of these demos will be plugged into the demo world too. With the Disney's Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience, it's still very light on details, and I'm assuming the time got pushed back. They haven't updated their site to say anything beyond 2021. But as of right now, that's really what's listed. So I'd be surprised if they eventually do pull it off. Aaron, I know you're probably looking forward to that. Well, I'm also a fan of cyberpunk fashion, so the Snapchat spectacles probably nail the aesthetic the best. The glasses, which can capture 3D video and unique circular aspect ratio, is intended to be synced with the app to post almost limitless short videos at the touch of a button. Initial hype and lines for its roving, limited time only Snapbot vending machines, it led Snap to overestimate demand and frankly under-deliver on quality and content at first. But 4 years later, 3 generations of these glasses have been released, and it's really ensured Snapchat's commitment to putting these glasses on basically everybody's face. They even changed their brand motto from an app developing company to a camera company that makes apps. I thought that was a unique switch they made recently. And I love the picture, by the way, if you're into marketing shenanigans, the vending machine, it would transport across the US, and it was a lot like a scavenger hunt. They didn't release whether it would be next, but lines would be crazy long, and they only had a limited stock of these spectacles at first. And you can kind of see the first version is up there in the right on the blue tarp, and the newest version is played right here on this video. It looks much more stylistic. At first, they look like a toy. You can tell they're now going for a very premium look. And you can watch this whole video in full as well on our demo floor. We're going to have very similar glasses to these, I hope, very soon. People have taken jabs at this in the past. If you might know Google Glass, they often struggle to effectively communicate privacy, given it's hard to know if a user is recording you in your everyday public life, or where you're allowed to wear these glasses and where you're not. All of that is still pretty much a gray area, and the price tag usually runs people out compared to other designer glasses. They can be fairly expensive. Well, and that brings us to a very fun one here. If you like the sunglasses idea, you might really like the Bose frames concept. And as proud owners of a pair in our Imagine Lab, the frames are an excellent example of how audio could augment our perspective. Originally paired with the Bose AR feature, users could experience location-based effects, they could answer phone calls, play music, and even control the volume of your speakers just by tilting your head. And it's really crisp and a great reflection of Bose quality sound. And honestly, if you'd like to check out more of the Bose frames, look at this piece written by one of our own explorers who has spent some months wearing them. They're with us right now. Zane, feel free to message them, chat with them after this. They wrote a great analysis talking about Bose frames and their experience so far. They even made some modifications to it so they can wear them more often. But I think it was a really great piece. Highly recommend it. Y'all, you could bookmark it too just by scanning that code, hopefully. The benefit of those Bose frames is they're literally just like Bluetooth headphones. So I use them all the time. Might be on a little bit of a delay, but we'll make it there. Okay. Little too much. All right. Well, if you're looking forward to embedding even more expression in your clothing, look no further than this company called Cute Circuit. It's a new fashion group focused on designing what they call immersive clothing. So take, for example, the sound shirt. It has haptic feedback that can be synced with audio or even a live performance. It was called one of the best inventions of the year by Time magazine, get this, in 2006. So they've taken some time to get here, but their signature hug shirt also shares similar characteristics. It's literally called Hug Shirt. I love it. It's the purple shirt on the right. It can be controlled by a loved one or by yourself, and it will simulate giving a hug, and it is hilarious. I guess it's for those moments you just need a break, right? I could use that. They also have some neat clothing on their site. A little expensive. It's nice. And I don't know if I'd look good in any of those shirts, to be honest, but I can also use AI, such as Amazon Echo's Look, to judge and recommend other styles I might like. So similar to Snapchat Spectacles, this tech is also somewhat controversial, considering how an algorithm is essentially determining fashion preferences. And while I wish I picked one up while they were on sale for like $50, the project is now discontinued. And as this video is showing off, it was actually really unique. I didn't see a problem with it. I would have loved that. You would essentially open up your closet. It would rate your style. It would recommend other styles. That was Amazon's big pitch there. And yeah, you could compare what you wore certain days. You could essentially keep a fashion diary too. I don't know. I really wanted one. I'm really dug into the Amazon ecosystem though, not gonna lie. So I might have a little bit of bias here, but at the same time, I did hit a home run with the Echo Loop. It did not stop Amazon with their smart home arsenal when they canceled the Echo Look. So with the Loop, it's a smart ring that could answer phone calls, calculate tips, turn off your home lights, all with the power of your voice in your palm. I luckily have one of these rings. And while I often get weird looks and surprising questions, it somewhat still does not feel as powerful as I wish it was. It's great to have around, and it does work. Yes, it really does work. There's a tiny little button right on the bottom. It was an invitation-only program, so I emailed them. I was really, really interested to get one. I ended up getting one, and I call it my wedding ring now. I use it all the time, and it's because also my home is very smart decked. I got all the speakers, all the lights, my thermostat, my garage door. So it really gives me a lot of confidence. I can quickly just speak to it, press one button, vibrates once, and I hold it up to my ear. Again, though, when you're out shopping and I get a phone call, my ring will literally vibrate. Yeah, sure. I'll throw out my contact info in a bit. But yeah, it's really neat. I highly recommend it. Too bad they stopped selling it. That might have broken their hearts pursuing any other smart ring future for Amazon. But there are a lot of other brands out there. And it's funny to say that there's now a smart ring industry. Some of them will even like monitor your vital signs, like your heart rate, your steps walked. And while we all have smartwatches that could generally do that, I think the form factor is very unique in that it's a ring, right? I want to keep an eye out on what happens next to the smart ring industry. All right. Well, finally, let's also think about the health benefits with embedded clothing. So imagine never needing to question your foot pain or because your socks already know the pressure points and strain you've had throughout the day, especially as batteries have become more compact and renewable sources of energy have become a little more frequent and affordable. It could be game changing to have something after necessary surgery. You could wear this fabric that could identify points that need to be elevated or monitored. It would be really, really helpful. And this tech is still just being experimented with right now. We're still trying to understand the efficacy and how accurate it actually is. But this is one of those parts about smart clothing that we're really looking forward to. I think you missed some cool stuff in mine. My wireless charging wallets, my IoT jacket, my smart glove. Yes. Yeah, embedded clothing is everywhere. I highly agree. There is that Jacquard by Google. It's basically just like a jacket you would wear that's touch sensitive. You can basically just press and touch and would react with your smart device. Really neat stuff. Well, we got through all the cool stuff, all these new ideas, some still slightly out of reach, others even discontinued and canceled. Everything here was really just inspiration for the Imagine Lab. We all have experiments of our own, and we look forward to learning more about our relationship with fashion. It was definitely an avenue we hadn't really considered much before. So once it was recommended to us, I really appreciate students telling me that this is something we really would like to think about. What works and what doesn't? Ultimately, we can't stop innovation, right? So what comes next? Love to know what stood out to you or what other opportunities do you see? And again, at the Imagine Lab, we're always wondering what comes next and what we can do to make sure we're working on something that is remarkable, responsive, and responsible. So feel free to network here. Feel free just to walk around, come up to the catwalk, ask a question. Get to know each other, because at the end of the day, we're here just to be curious, right? Feel free to interact with the video screens, the web pages, and more that shows off what we talked about today. So really want to thank y'all for coming out. I can share these slides with you. I can also share all the links. And next month, we're really meeting on education meets extended reality. And then after that, just as a reminder, we're also talking about mental health meets virtual reality. We're going to have a guest speaker for this meetup, Ricky Holm, a CEO of Chocolate Milk and Donuts, who have developed the first large-scale use of training applications in virtual reality for a mental health institution. So it's really neat. I hope everybody can make it out to that one. And again, I'll just rewind here, leave it there. And I really want to thank y'all out for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah, feel free, Nino, if you'd like, you can hop on the stage. Go ahead and turn off my screen sharing there.
I listened to the whole presentation through them.
Oh wow! So I've only seen the Bose frames as sunglasses. I didn't know they did clear ones as well.
Well, so I bought like third party lenses for them.
Oh, you did?
So they came from like a glasses lens manufacturer. So you can actually get them as prescription lenses too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they're really expensive for not getting them with a prescription.
Yeah.
But I wrote about it in my article a little bit, but they worked perfectly because I used to work the front desk at my apartment building. And we weren't allowed to wear headphones because we needed to like look attentive at all times. Yeah. So I would just wear these all the time and like listen to podcasts and stuff. And then there's a little button on the side to pause and play. So anytime anyone would walk up, I would just like pretend to adjust my glasses.
And, that's so great.
And pause the audio. So
it so reminds me, I was a glass hole way back when Google Glass first came out. And it seems so much more natural having regular glasses than because I had to put the glass on top of my lens glasses, and it was so awkward. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So much better. Have you played with the apps where it's tied to the accelerometer in there, so it knows if you're like doing a burpee, for example?
I didn't try that one. I tried the one where it like there's like monuments or like there's specific parts in the world that you can like look at and like it'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I tried the Bose AR stuff for like a week or two after I got them, and then I didn't really.
You didn't get into
stick with it. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a little bit gimmicky.
Yeah, definitely. They haven't found the kind of real need.
Yeah, well, I think they said it in some of their press releases, where basically that the audio-based AR platform is kind of more suited for super specific use cases as opposed to like general all the time sort of use cases.
Yeah.
I think it's still interesting though, and I'm sure a lot of the things that they tried are going to be studied by Bose in the future, or whatever AR companies come next.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So I'm sorry. Go.
I was a little late to the game. Is there all the little monitors have demos on them?
Correct. Right.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What were you going to say, Zane?
Well, so something that I think we didn't mention during the presentation was how. Well, I guess we kind of mentioned it, but it was how like immersive technology is going to shape the fashion buying experience, right? And you kind of talked I guess a little bit about it with the Amazon look. But as we kind of shifted to online shopping for like everything, I think one of the few like brick and mortar retailers that are going to stick around are the fashion stores, because I think people really enjoy going out to those stores. Like, so maybe you're not going to go out to buy your batteries and your underwear, but the idea of like going to a fashion store and trying things on is, I think, a big part of the shopping experience for a lot of people. So I think I'd be interested to kind of see where you guys are thinking about the future of retail experience in terms of fashion, maybe less of like tech infused with fashion.
I completely agree with you. I actually dressed up today for the fashion show. And it was like the first time I probably got out of my PJs in weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to dress up again and like get in front of a mirror and everything. So I totally agree with you. I don't think it works with AR. I don't know if you've seen some of the fashion with like, where you can kind of see your shirt, see the shirt change and everything. But I do like being an avatar in like my Quest and trying on clothes. So that might change. Just might not go to the store as much as long as I can actually try on my clothes with my avatar.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, great! Wow, that was really hard to
hear you.
To take. I'll wait till whoever's speaking now finishes.
I think you're good to go.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Anina. I'm the CEO and founder of the 360 Fashion Network. Delighted to be here. Josh, you didn't include any of my stuff in your speech. I'm fully offended. Like, you didn't put my wireless charging wallets in there. You didn't put my robotic dresses in there. You didn't put my smart safety ring in there. Like, I don't qualify? Come on, man. I've been doing fashion tech for over 20 years. That's like totally unfair, man. Like, I didn't even register on your Richter scale. Oh, my goodness. I'm doing something wrong. But it was a great presentation, by the way, like actually very beautiful graphics. And I have to compliment you on the whole layout and everything. It was really stimulating, much better than my PPTs. So I would really love to get a copy of that because I missed the whole first part. So I was in like the Christmas zone with Jocelyn running around trying to figure out where all the freaking people were. So, and secondly, like, for the newbie here, me on the block and Jocelyn, could you tell us a little bit about this space? I know y'all are probably like, old timers, but this is the first time I've had this experience. It's super cool. I'm so delighted to be here. And lastly, I just showed up because I'm so lucky. The ghost in the shell showed me your event while I was poking around at 5 a.m. and made it here. And just wanted to let you all know that I'm throwing a big hoo-ha at the end of March, the Digital Fashion Online Conference, where you will have all the latest people, and even like Robert Tursick talking about how the world is getting vaporized. Larry Namer, the founder of E-Entertainment, is going to talk about his newest investments, Fanvestor, and online beauty with like AR and all that stuff. Going to have all the best 3D printing fashion designers, and we'll have this huge networking party afterwards where I'm going to live stream from all corners of the world, tableau vivants and live performances from fashion designers. So, and you'll be able to network and stuff. But I wanted to come and try this out. This is actually a lot of fun. Is this? I know this is another platform that you're using. I have no idea what the Imagine Lab is. I gather you're a school because you keep talking about the lab. And so do you mind to give us, I missed the whole first part because I was running around trying to figure out where everyone was. So yes, please. And I better be in your next presentation.
Damn straight.
For sure. Thank you, Anina, for jumping in and dropping in those links. We got to check that out. And yeah, with the Imagine Lab, we got a booth I'll show you in a bit to take you to the site. But basically, it's our innovation and entrepreneurship lab focused on immersive and emerging technologies at UT Austin. So we really want to focus on, like Kyle said, the story, the audience, and then how that intersects with technology. So personally, as me, I'm just a all-around geek. I've always been interested in this stuff, and all the people here have also just been part of the Texas Immersive program, which is the curriculum of the lab. So a lot of the classes focus on how to build these experiences out and how to get familiar with the technology. So Aaron here is our director.
Hi, Aaron. Nice to meet you. I'm in Beijing, China, by the way. So like, this was a really good time to have it. So if you have it again, I hope you won't have it at like 3 a.m. when I can't attend. So I'm delighted that you had it at this time. So just a small footnote, if you want me to show up, this is a good time.
This is a good time for all of us. We always do it second Wednesday of the month at 6 o'clock, and the subject changes every month. We pick something new.
Oh, wonderful! So I hit the right one in the.
You
on
did.
The head. Wonderful.
You did.
So you asked what is like the next thing. So I'll just share it with you. I'm going to launch it at the conference, but I built a luxury robot with a jacket that has an embroidered touchpad on it. And the jacket, it's for hotel managers and the whole hotel system. And the jacket connects to the IoT hotel system. And with the buttons, you can like swipe and change the lighting, and swipe and change the music, and swipe and raise and lower the temperature. And I did the project.
It's better than Tinder.
I did the project with Amazon IoT, and so like, you know, using all their smart lighting and temperature and stuff. But then the last thing you can do is you can swipe and summon this robot. And so the robot is not a robot with arms and stuff. It's a cart bot robot, a drink bot robot, but the thing is that most robots don't fit into the beautiful ambiance of hotels. They look like scary ghost Michelin men, or they look like washing machine on wheels. They look really ugly. And so I wanted to build a robot that was like high design and that looks like, you know, a really beautiful piece of furniture that could be parked next to whatever, you know, and then still look like it was part of the environment. And then the hotel jacket is really about two things. One is that hospitality industry, obviously pre-COVID, because I started that project like 2 years ago. So, but the hospitality industry pre-COVID is like a high stress environment. So by having these color-coded buttons, swipe buttons embroidered on your sleeve, the person wearing it could start to log data like red. I feel very stressed right now. You know how you're like working, you're doing something, and then suddenly you gain consciousness and you're like, I feel really anxious, or, oh, I feel really whatever, you know, and then you go back to your unconscious nature. Well, then you could just log that in the cloud. And what we found out with the Amazon analytics is that over time, we can start to see, wow, I feel really stressed and I'm super busy every week at 2 p.m., you know, but on Fridays, I'm really busy, but I don't feel stressed. And then I can look at that. And then if you had a fleet of these jackets across all of your hotel systems and you anonymize the data, then you could figure out things like, man, why does everybody want to quit, you know, at 2 p.m., you know, every Tuesday in every hotel that I have, whatever.
Exactly.
You know,
you need those clothes to be huggable jackets at that time.
No hugging. There's no hugging. But that way you could look across your organization, and the idea is that you could the person could reduce their stress, and B, the organization could send resources to areas that were, you know, causing their employees to be super stressed. Plus, because we built there's no phone, the jacket is the phone, so to speak, because the jacket is autonomous. You know, that data, that experience as you leave work and you get into your car knows you're stressed. So your car could turn on, you know, your favorite song and have the seats warmed up, or music, you know. And then as you get home, your home knew that you were having a shit day. Sorry to swear, but like you're having a bad day. And then it would already create an environment, you know, blue lighting to chill you out, you know, have the TV on with your favorite show, whatever it is, brew a coffee, you know, your environment could respond to you in real time so that you would feel better, you know. And then also we found out along the way that now that COVID is here, like contactlessness service is a thing. So the robot actually got, compressed in time. Instead of being something 5 years away, it's probably something more like 2 years away.
Yeah.
And also lots of requests coming in for people who are mobility impaired or elderly having a home assistant, to bring them things. And also in the office environment that you don't have to get up to go to the coffee machine to get a coffee. You could just dial the robot to bring you a coffee, and the person at the coffee thing would send it over to you, type of thing. So yeah, so that's sort of, I'm into domotics. I think domotics are the next big thing, home automation, and the role clothing plays in the IoT environment.
That's fascinating. Will you put in the link, put in the chat when this conference is, Anina?
Yeah, March 28 and 29. digitalfashion.360fashion.net. And may I dare mention, or may I reach out to you, Erin, because I'm looking for some brand ambassadors. So I'm reaching out to schools and finding out if there's anyone who would like to help out, at the event, be part of our team, do some volunteering. Definitely. So if anyone, especially in your crew, they can have permission to attend the event and the after party, provided that they're of age,
Yeah.
And so I have a form for that. If I dare pop it into the chat, but if it would be possible to send that out through your network, we'd love to.
We do. We have a whole Discord channel that we can share it with all the explorers.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll be quiet now, and I really enjoyed, Josh, your presentation, although I wasn't on the list, but it was a great presentation. I can't wait to get the first part that I missed. Will somebody tell me the YouTube channel, please? Because I would love to.
Oh, Texas Immersive on YouTube. Yes, follow us and help spread it.
Yeah.
This program's only been in existence a year, and I already have 62 students in the program. So it's going to keep growing.
Wow. Is that one word, Texas Immersive? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Logan. Oh, and I really wanted Zach. It was his name, Zach. The gentleman whose name starts with a Z. I really wanted to read Zane's article, but my thing wasn't scanning the code for some reason.
Yeah, so I dropped the PowerPoint in the chat.
Okay.
So you can also grab it from there. And then I'll grab the link to his article too.
Is he putting it on the Imagine Lab Medium publication?
I think that was the plan, but I think there may be a few tweaks that need to be made before it's quite ready for that.
I haven't submitted it yet.
Right now, I only see two links. Is that correct? Or is there a third link I'm missing? Yeah, Zane. Thank you, Zane, or Josh, for posting Zane's article. Super interesting.
You're all good.
So do you guys also build things in your lab?
Yes, we build a lot of different things.
We build a whole lot.
Yeah, we're wrapping up a whole entire augmented reality project. Our university came to us and said, okay, now we can't have prospective students come to campus, and we're missing 70,000 people who come a year to our campus. So we built a whole entire new mailer they could send out, and our Bevo is our character, our UT Austin character or mascot. Was it a mascot? I don't know. And he pops up and talks to you and introduces you to University of Texas Longhorn traditions and everything, which is super fun. And then we're working on a new project called Eyes on the Sky, because we want to get people into becoming space environmentalists. So we've built this whole traveling immersive museum, like mixed reality experience that gets people to understand the relationship between Mother Earth and Father Sky, which is another project we're working on. And then
Erin, you've just nominated yourself to be part of my conference. I have an Educating the Future track. Can I reach out to you, get you on the panel? Oh my goodness, you got to talk about this. I can help you get the word out. You help me get the volunteers. I help you get the word out. This
That'd
is
be great, because I
wonderful.
need some contacts in Beijing, China, because my students are always wanting to go there.
Oh, that's easy. I can hook you up because they
I'm
all
taking
come to
them
my
to school.
lab, you know. But I
Yeah.
hook you up with the Fashion Institute of Technology. They have an automation department, and that professor is amazing. But you have to have WeChat, girl. Like I cannot connect you. Okay, great. Because you know they don't do anything outside of that. You know they barely look at an email these days. You know, so like, but I'll hook you up. But just so you know, this conference is not taking place in China. It's taking place in the United States. So
where are you? Are you doing it?
I happened to be in China because it came here to manufacture the robot, and then it got all derailed, and there was no supply chain, and there were no acrylic factories open. And if I didn't deliver that project, it was an EU commissioned project, so I was going to lose
that's crazy.
thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars if I didn't finish that robot. So I finally put it in a crate 2 weeks ago. Thank God. That was a whole nother thing, how to get it out of China. And sent it over to Slovenia to get programmed up with artificial intelligence. So, like,
nice.
I know. It was very stressful. My hair turned gray. That's why I'm wearing a wig.
Wow.
I love it. Well, the color is awesome. It's one of my colors I go to.
I figure Asians and Black women can wear wigs, so I can too, you know.
Oh, we all can wear wigs.
So why not? And the whole like cosplay, manga, you know, why not? You know.
Yeah.
Plus, my hair gets to be all different lengths. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, that is fun.
But y'all know my secret now. You gotta keep my secret. Only for the fashion tech peeps, you know. But you've just nominated yourself to be part of my conference. So like, how do I get in touch with you? Let me send you the link to the form for anyone who would like to volunteer to help us out to you know, that would be.
I'll give you my email just in case you want to reach out to me.
Yes.
And for Jocelyn, you said how students get more involved. Dude, there's so many. I'll let the other students talk about how you can get involved. There's a lot of ways to jump into the Imagine Lab.
I want to jump in the Imagine Lab. Do you have to be like a student? I'm not a student.
No, not at all. The key is like this is an open space for all creatives to come and hang out. You know, bring the media. I say story tech together or media tech together.
I went and like Instagram this. So like if y'all pop your Instagrams in here, here's how we do it. I'm going to take like a picture of this and then I'm going to tag you all on Instagram. Then you guys all retweet, right? And then like that's how then everybody in my network will know about this. You see my point, right? So like they're already asking me on Instagram, this looks cool. What is that? You know, like, cause of course everyone who likes, a lot of people who like fashion tech follow me. So like, give me all your Instagrams and I'll do a photo. The first ones are all like, where are we? Jocelyn and I running around going, we don't know where any people are. And then we're like, we found the people. I think there should be like a pop-up that says, hi, you know, this little announcement, you can walk around, but please, everybody is here. Like if there were like, when I enter the system, if there was a pop-up saying we are all congregating here. Because I was like, we were way far away. I mean, the world is big here. So, you know.
Yeah, that's true. There usually is an welcome to the Imagine Lab. Did the announcement, I guess you didn't see the announcement in the chat. It probably needs to be on
Yeah, that's what
wall.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you're first never had this experience. So like, you're like, where am I? There's no people in this room. So maybe if you made that first room and then you know how you write on the floor, maybe you should write like, hey, we are congregating, and then an arrow pointing in that direction. Like if I saw that would be super user friendly and helpful to make me know. Feel free to explore, but we're all over. If you see no people, we're all here or something like that, you know, like.
You're not alone. You're not alone. Look around.
I mean, now I'm a pro because I found y'all. But, you know, before that, we were running around like going, where are all the people? And then
I have this in the background quite regularly. And sometimes I just hear people talking and I'm like going through my hundreds of tabs. Who's talking? Who's talking to me? Trying to find it. I'm like, oh shit, I think the lab is open again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Keep it
Sorry,
on.
but like, who's hanging out in the lab right now and not doing your work? You know,
That is work. Hanging out is work.
Oh, all right. It constitutes as work. Awesome. So tell me more about what you're working on in the lab. I'm just thrilled to hear about this augmented reality. I'm super focused on that. I did that in 2010 with HP. And like, you can check out my YouTube channel and see like what I thought the future of augmented reality and retail interactive retail tech would look like at 360 Fashion TV on YouTube. I did huge exhibitions with the Chinese government. It's 80,000 people show up to my event, and then it was like a whole pavilion, like an expo. And then I got like almost unlimited budget, so I could build anything. And I worked with Guopei, the world's famous only Chinese designer ever allowed in the couturier in France. And I digitized all her couture wedding gowns. And it was so, and then I built like a whole room like a dressing room with like velvet curtains, and they had all these requirements, but whatever, had to look luxury. And then you could try on her wedding dresses. And see, I have this theory that like we need more culture in wearable tech and in fashion tech.
Definitely.
Because, you know, I get it. You can only make one mold. The mold is expensive. Like, so they want to make something that appeals, quote, to the largest audience. And then what it looks like is like nothing, you know, and then nobody wants to wear it. And then it fails, like your ring, Josh. You know, if that ring was stylized, it probably would have been successful if it looked cool, right? But then they wanted it to, quote unquote, match the most people, and then it matches no one and it dies, right? And they don't get that. We need more culture in technology. But what was so poignant about that experience was when, you know, in an event, like there's like a whole bunch of people and it's like, yeah, and then there's a moment where there's less people, right? And then there was like, I looked in the room and there was this lady, this older lady, and she was standing there almost with tears in her eyes because of the cultural significance of Guopei's clothing. She does the needlepoint from China, which almost nobody can do anymore because nobody wants to learn it and, you know, all that stuff. And so like, whoever gets to wear a couture gown from Guopei, she's a national treasure. Wow. And this woman was just standing there in the room, like probably reminiscing about her wedding when she was like in 19 whatever, you know, she was really quite mature. And so it had a super cultural significance to her to be able to try the clothing on digitally. And I captured a picture of her, and just stays in my mind that we were talking about this. I do a bi-weekly fashion tech talk on Clubhouse, and oh, wow. We were talking, like last week was about augmented reality, and we were saying, I bet you can remember every single augmented reality experience that you've seen. That means it goes deep in your data banks. That means that you remember the brand. That means that it had an impression on you, right? Yeah. And that counts for something, you know, that counts for something more than a web page, a Facebook ad. You know what I mean? Like,
you're speaking our language, Anina. That, I mean, anything that's like intimate, interactive, and experiential, you know, like get us fully invested in an audience, engaging with the creator in a new way. Super important. I love it.
And, you know, all these people are like, well, why should I do AR? I mean, in 2010, when I brought AR and fashion together, people were like, no, this will never take off until it's in the glasses. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
I built a 9-meter wall. It was the Chinese government's 20-year fashion anniversary. I built a 9-meter wall, and I was the only foreigner allowed to go into the archives of the fashion government, because media and all that stuff is like super, super touchy, and like you're not allowed to. It's like, I could say something bad, but I wouldn't. But you know what I mean? Like that's why they don't let foreigners touch anything media-wise. But it was amazing. They had these fashion shows in the 10 years ago that they had like people dressed as robots. And like there was this fashion show that I saw where all these models were walking down these stairs, and there were like these dancers in robot costumes. Like it was insane from the 80s in China. Like, I mean, it was cuckoo. And so this 9-meter wall was a timeline from like, whatever year, I don't remember, to the year 2013. And then you could go with the iPad and like go through the key things that I thought were coolest and watch a video or have pop-ups or have a link that took you somewhere and stuff like that. Yeah. And like, you could go through the timeline and then learn about all the things, the Chinese fashion history,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really significant. And obviously, like, museums do that and stuff, but I just think it's cool. Like, people say, what's the ROI? Well, I think every person remembers that experience, therefore remembering these things that they would never have the chance to get in touch with, right? Because it's not like publicly on a website or anything, And then that wall, I was thinking, could be decentralized. You could just rent a wall, slap the timeline sticker on it, and that exhibition could be everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah. I love that when it tells stories. Do you remember Shane Small? Do you know the artist Shane Small?
No.
So he was, I think he was back in like 2000, early 2010s. And he did these stories on T-shirts where each one was a scene in the mystery. And it was like a whole collector's item to actually collect the different garments that unlocked the clues to solve the mystery. And so if you had one, you only had one part of the mystery. If you had the whole T-shirts, you could like wear them every day, and everyone that would visit you or kind of unlock through the clues on your T-shirt would take you to a website. As he got more advanced with Edok Laundry, he did augmented reality on the T-shirt. It was super cool, super cool.
Well, I think it was really Pokemon Go that showed the power of AR. Yeah. Especially what I loved about it was location-based AR. Like we all saw the videos of thousands of people, and some people were there, like thousands of videos like of people rushing to get the Pokemon and stuff. And that's really always what it is with technology, is it takes some huge organization with a lot of attention to be able to really show the power of it, Yeah. And that's sort of how it goes. But then those organizations, they are like dinosaurs and they move so slowly, right? And so it's kind of that chicken and the egg thing,
Niantic actually did Ingress first. So like that was such an underground movement for like laying the entire data set and database that Pokemon Go was built on,
Oh, tell that story. I didn't catch that one.
Oh, so the people that built Pokemon Go is Niantic, and they their first game that really kind of set the stage was Ingress, was the game Ingress. Do any of you guys know this game? Mm-hmm. It's like you were either on the blue team or the purple team, and you captured locations. And it was really big on universities. A lot of college students helped to kind of set those locations and all the different pinpoints. And then Nintendo came to Niantic and said, oh, this is kind of interesting. What could you do with Pokemon? And they already had a whole like database and locations built and pinpointed, targeted already with Ingress, that they were able to take that and layer Pokemon Go on top of it. And so you've got a really amazing brand. I think this is something that's that connection. You've got amazing technology and game mechanics that was already there. And you've got a well-established known brand that people love. and that collaboration all of a sudden put augmented reality on the map.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we need that for any shift in technology, is like recognition and affinity for something mixed with kind of the future of emerging technology.
Yes. And I think if I on my Instagram, I'm about to release like a little video about fashion and gaming.
Yeah.
This is super interesting. So my friend Orietta Palazzari, she consults for all the big brands. Like she's a fashion consultant, like super high level. And I was talking to her and I was like, hey, we need to have like a fashion and gaming panel on the conference. And she was like, I'm so tired of that. And I was like, why? Because she lives in the future, you know, because she's a trend reporter or whatever you call that. And she's like, people don't understand why the brands are going into fashion and gaming. It's very strategic. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And she's like, yeah, right now, the only market in the world that is doing anything is China. And so to target Chinese consumers, that's why they're going into gaming. They're not doing gaming because it's cool or it's new or they looking to do. No, it's super strategic that they're going into gaming so that they can capture the audience, so that those people will buy those virtual clothes and then when they grow up and they have buying power, they will buy, that their brands will still have relevance, you know? So a lot of times we think brands are doing something to do something cool, but actually what she was saying is that they're doing it to be really strategic to sell.
Yeah, going where the eyeballs are.
Yeah, reach an audience.
Yeah, I think there's been some really interesting plays on that with Animal Crossing. Do you play Animal Crossing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't play it, but I know that people are, you know,
the brand integration. The latest one was with here in America was the whole Biden. They put Biden presidency, you know, politics inside Animal Crossing.
I missed that.
People loved it. They loved it so much, but actually then they kind of came down with no politics in Animal Crossing. And it set a rule. So, you know, they like pushed boundaries if all of a sudden
they had to make a rule.
They had to make a rule not that there's no politics in Animal Crossing.
That's so amazing. Well, again, that's culture, right? You know?
Yeah.
So I think that there's something to be said about that. It's so important when you're designing any technology that you take that in consideration. Like, I wish I could make the hair of my character red, you know, like now I'm getting particular, you know, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree. It's character and shirt. And then your hair, I think your hair changes, but it's the whole thing. It's not very personalized in Gather Town.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, once you master the tech, you want to, you know, bring in your culture, right? You know? Yeah. And that's a whole thing, like, of how do you really view yourself? Like, even when I was like, I don't know, super like, you know, 13 and we were hanging out on all these like hacker spaces when you only were like a text, you know, when you were in all you could do was text, you know, you could only chat with people on some weird, you know, on these platforms. There was no graphics back then. And still one was
or it
able
looked a little
to,
like this, the graphics.
No, this is way before that. I'm afraid I'm dating myself here, but you know, even then, one was able to create a picture of what the person looked like, which, you know, may or may not have been true, but like often how we feel inside and who we are inside doesn't reflect by our physical nature. And so like in a Second Life, you get these moms who have like wings and these, you know, hot bodies and stuff, you know, because in their daily life, they're moms and that is a part of their personality. And in a virtual world, they can create that persona that is a facet of their
try on
person,
multiple
inner
identities.
person, you know, and I think that's super interesting. There'll be a speech by Ryan Aglet. Do you guys know about Aglet? The sneaker shoe app where you can buy shoes and then they make them. Fascinating. He has this whole thing about unifying the self. Like he thinks that we're fragmented, like that we have our physical selves, then we have our digital selves, and that this is like an unhealthy separation. And he has a whole philosophy about unifying the self. And he does that with his crypto sneaker fashion app, Aglet.
I'm looking it up right now. Wow, I don't feel so disconnected with my digital self. You know, I'm sure some people do, but I don't think, I feel like there's a real convergence going on. It's interesting that people would think that.
I wonder what Kyle and Logan and Jin think.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel connected to your digital selves, or do you have a different persona in the world? I mean, in the virtual world.
I don't think so, because a lot of my classmates, can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. A lot of my classmates I had never met, like in real life. And then the ones that I recently just met, I still felt like I knew them, even though I had never met them in person. So that's interesting. But also on another note, because you're like all into fashion and stuff, and some of the Imagine students, we are not as like, we don't know it all for sure. So it'd be interesting to get your input on the Eyes on the Sky apparel shirt that we're trying to develop. And we're trying to make it interactive in some way. We are not exactly sure yet, but it'd be cool later in the semester to have you come in and talk to us.
Love to. That would be great. I'd love to see your shirt and, you know, share my thoughts on it. Thank you for your invite.
That's a cool idea, Kyle. They, because they've created the logo to look like the iris of an eye for Eyes on the Sky, but they've been thinking about everyone being able to have their own digital identity with the logo, you know? I don't know I'm not sure how to do that.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm so sorry.
Well, I know it would be like creating a individualized QR code for each person, but then they tie it to more than a website. It sounded like y'all wanted to tie it more to than just like a website or something.
Yeah, we're still working that out. But even on like the other hand, getting people to take this on so we can really spread awareness through this interactive shirt, we need partners in place to help us get this out and going. So it would just overall be amazing to have you come in and give us your 2 cents on it.
I put my email like way back in this when I couldn't talk. I don't know if you see that. It's like way back there. I can type it again. But I was like, hey, nobody can hear me. It was kind of weird, but I'll put it in here, and you feel free to reach out and tell me when it is. And I would love to show up, and I'd love to see it. I mean, I love to see anything you guys are doing. Please count me in. I'm just glad you did this and that I found it and that I'm here and that I can actually talk to you, because for a while I couldn't talk to you, but thank goodness Josh was like, get on the carpet. I do have to jump now to a call with the gaming company because I want to snafoogle them into the event to talk fashion and gaming.
Awesome.
But could you email me when this is, and I'll put it on my calendar so that it's a repeating thing and I know where to show up. That would be
sounds
awesome.
Great. Would love that.
And Erin, I'm already got my email started to you for the education panel, so hope you will join. And please thank Josh. He went away. I would love to see that, his whole presentation. He really did a great job on the graphics and the whole presentation. He did. He
That's
did.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's pretty amazing.
made it super
Actually, all
compelling.
of them are pretty amazing. They're all amazing. So
Well,
I think Josh actually shared the presentation with you. If you scroll up a little bit,
Oh, yes.
you want to
Yes,
click
yes,
on that
yes.
link before.
But I wanted to
you
hear
have-
the video with his commentary, you know, like I
Oh.
wanted to hear what he was saying, right? Because like his commentary is so insightful, you know.
Well, that'll be Logan's going to post it on our channel soon.
YouTube channel. Yep, I got
Yeah.
that too. And I tagged y'all on Instagram.
Oh, cool. We'll check it out.
And yeah, if you would be so kind as to send out my
I
call
totally
for
will.
ambassadors, you know, would be really
definitely will.
appreciated. And definitely I need to get this on my calendar so that I show up, because that was a great presentation and I'm just was faffing around trying to find out where y'all were.
Awesome.
So
Nice
great to
meeting
meet
you,
you.
Anita. Yeah,
Bye,
good seeing you.
everyone. How do I
Bye.
go out? Do I
Oh,
just
it's
close
a-
the browser?
Close the browser. Exactly.
Okay.
Just close the browser.
I don't want like my digital self left dead,
Yeah,
you know, on the.
Don't be like
on
me and leave it open and, I just hear people talking on occasion in my house.